Although we don't make a lot of travel videos, we do travel a lot in Mexico. And I got to tell you right now, we're in one of our favorite places. And you saw from the thumbnail that we were like, are we all by ourselves? And that's a neat thing about where we're at. So where are we at?
Tequisquiapan, Querétaro.
So yes, we're in Tequisquiapan in the state of Querétaro, which is a town of about 70,000 people.
And it's about 3 hours, maybe 2.5, 3 hours away from Mexico City.
Mm-hmm. It has the cool colonial feel of like San Miguel de Allende, but it's much smaller. So Tequisquiapan is a weekend destination for folks from Mexico City and Querétaro primarily. So during the week from Monday till almost Friday, late Thursday or so through Thursday, it's pretty quiet. Very different from the weekend. Come Friday, Saturday, that time, this place fills up. And so we're going to things, we're the only people in the restaurant. We are going to wine tastings.
We're the only ones there.
And the wine tasting, they may surprise people because a lot of people don't know.
Oh, so Tequisquiapan and the area just outside of Tequisquiapan is known as the wine and cheese region. So they have, it's called La Ruta del Vino y Queso.
Mm-hmm.
So this area is known for their wine and cheese.
And anybody who's watched the channel knows that Linda absolutely loves wine and likes cheese.
I love cheese.
Okay, loves wine and cheese.
That's why I'm Fun Linda.
That's why you're Fun Linda. And Linda also makes all the travel plans for us. So we keep showing up at wine and cheese areas in Mexico. So walk us through it. Linda, where did we go?
So we've been to several different wineries. Starting from like a very small winery that we visited during somebody corrected me. It wasn't a racer, but a racer-like vehicle tour through the like dirt roads outside of Tequisquiapan. Mm-hmm. Visited some really cool places, and we stopped at a very small family-owned vineyard. So the name of this small winery, family-owned, was Viña Magal.
You enjoyed one of the wines. We actually bought a wine from them.
Yeah, we bought one of them. It was a white sparkly wine. It still didn't have like a label yet or a name. They were waiting for it to be named and for it to be labeled. So that's kind of neat. I would have to say out of all the wineries that we've visited, my favorite is San Juanito. Every wine that I tried there, I liked.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often because, like your taste palates can be very different.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things with their wines too is they all are award-winning.
Yes.
Every one of their wines.
Spain, San Francisco, I can't remember.
Multiple awards, every wine.
Different awards. One thing I think that also stood out for them was that every sampling that we got, and we were the first people there that day.
Mm-hmm. But we were the only people that we saw. Well, I guess some other ones.
Some other people showed up later. And every sampling that they gave us was from a freshly opened bottle of wine. To me, that makes a world of difference.
Huge difference.
You can think that you put a stopper, you take the air out, and it'll be okay, but I think it still changes the flavor of the wine.
Yeah, I agree. We were at other wine tastings, and it would be an older bottle, and it has that, I call it grapey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no idea what your wine really tastes like because you just gave me one that's been open for 3 days. I don't know. You know?
And why would I buy it if I don't really know what it, The
other thing is, like, we went to a lot of wine tastings, and some of them are very, cold. Pick A, B, C. As you pay for so much, you get these wines. Do you want to buy some? Yes, no, get out, It felt very different. That was probably my favorite place to go. Obviously, it's beautiful. We had a pizza there. They make pizzas.
We had sun-dried tomatoes and goat cheese pizza, which was amazing. The goat cheese.
Amazing.
I mean, again, the area is known for their cheese as well.
If you're going to get a pizza, order it right away because it takes them some time to make it. They're making your pizza. They're not just going to the freezer and throwing a pizza in a
getting
pizza.
The oven heated up, getting everything ready.
It was great. We ended up buying bottles of wine. We enjoyed a bottle there. I think we really recommend that one. Another winery, the second most favorite one for you would be Azteca?
Yeah, I think Viñedos Azteca would be my second favorite. And I was a little disappointed because this time around, they didn't have one of the wines that I liked the most last time.
Which one?
Which was Pretexto. It's a very well-known wine.
Too well-known, apparently. Sold out.
Yeah. But we tried some of the other reds, which were very good. So I really enjoyed not only that, but the location is absolutely stunning.
It really is beautiful.
They just have it set up so beautiful.
It's definitely, it should be on your list. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
vineyards and wineries to visit here, and some are better than others. And the first time you're here, I mean, we tried tons of them the first
Yeah.
time, and this time we kind of went back to our favorites, tried a few new ones.
Yeah. And still, I think our old favorites are still our favorites.
Still our favorites. So let's talk about food in Tequisquiapan and where we love to eat here. Now, first of all, I want to tell you that although we do a channel about Mexico, we don't just focus on Mexican food and tacos and things like that. That's just not what we do. Our tastes are varied. And I look for certain things. One of the things I love is an Argentinian steakhouse. It's a good Argentinian steakhouse. Does Tequis have one of those, Linda?
They have at least one of those.
Oh, yes. They have an outstanding one. And what's it called, Linda?
El Quilombo.
I've eaten there 4 times while we've been here.
I think at least, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. If you don't know Argentinian steakhouses, you may be tempted to try to get a cut that you're familiar with, like a ribeye or, I don't know, New York strip or something. No. Always get the vacío. It's always super tender. It's wonderful. And then you put the chimichurri on it, which, if you've never had it, you may be like, oh, I don't want to put something green on my steak. My steak should just be steak. Look, I'm from the U.S. I'm good with steak just being steak. But you go to an Argentinian steakhouse, you go vacío, and you put chimichurri on it, like you slather it on there.
So I have to say,
it's so good.
I love chimichurri, but the flavor of the steak at El Quilombo was also so amazing that there were many times where I would just take the bite with just the steak.
Yeah, you didn't put much. I liked the whole combination. And
and what did you get? The papa rellena?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was great. You usually get a baked potato and there's just cheese like on top. This had cheese and ham, but it was like, it's almost like they scoop it out,
Yeah, it was like
mix it all together, and then put it all back in the
melted.
potato.
Like when you pulled it out, all the cheese was like popping out of it.
The place is definitely worth going to. And when you talk about prices, the prices are very reasonable too.
Very.
It's not like it's a crazy expensive steakhouse like what you're used to the U.S. Now, there's another place that we do like to meet also.
Oh, Las Brasas?
Las Brasas.
Restaurante Las Brasas.
I don't always remember the names. That's why Linda's good with the names.
So what we got was the filet with Roquefort sauce.
Oh, yeah.
But they also do a very good job. And I am not a dessert person. But
she's not a dessert person.
Best freaking chocolate cake I've had in a really long time. It was almost like a tres leches, if anybody knows that. So very moist, but chocolate, not super sweet. Oh,
you're salivating, right? I think you're salivating right now talking about it. So we don't want to just talk about, non-traditional Mexican food. So we did go have tacos at a place called
El Barrio.
El Barrio. And it's got a really neat vibe. It's right there in the whole downtown area. It's super easy to find. The drinks are 2 for $1 and very reasonably priced.
Beer and margaritas. And even I asked for a Don Julio Reposado margarita, which I'm sure maybe the price is a little different, but they were still 2 for $1.
They were still 2 for $1. And variety of tacos, all kinds of great food there.
Esquites.
Esquites. For folks who don't know what that is, corn mixed with
mayonnaise, chili powder.
I know it doesn't sound...
Cheese.
No, it doesn't sound great when we say mayonnaise mixed with... I'm telling you, try it.
Put a little lime on it.
Try it. It's great. So now let's talk about some different things to do in Tequisquiapan other than, say, wine and cheese. What other things can people do here?
We actually tried a few different activities this time, right? We did, like I mentioned earlier, we did a tour through like the countryside in a racer type vehicle.
Off-road vehicle.
Yeah, off-road vehicle. Yeah,
we'll call it that.
Off-road vehicle. And that was super cool because we got to go to some areas that we wouldn't have gotten to by car. Yeah. Then my probably favorite thing that we did was going on a horseback riding tour. This was not your typical horseback riding tour. When we got there, we had like coffee, some nice little pastries, like a very light breakfast just to get going. Then he did a instructional session with us.
He went into more detail than any other horseback riding place we've ever been to, like what side of the horse you usually get on, why do you do this? He gave a lot more instruction. Actually made riding a lot easier.
Yeah. And then we went on a 2.5 hour horseback riding experience.
2.5 hours.
And it was beautiful because we were I mean, part of it, we rode through like a little neighborhood to get out into the fields. But once we were out there, it was just like plains, fields,
just open country. Yeah.
You know, it was gorgeous. Just an amazing experience.
And we had to like run the horses up a hill and stuff, which is a little stressful. You have to lean forward and hope you don't fall off.
Then when we got back after our 2.5-hour horseback ride, we could barely move. Could barely walk on our legs. We were like baby deer.
I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't think that would happen. We got off the horse and I was like, oh, geez, you know, I can barely walk here.
They welcomed us with a lunch with barbacoa de borrego, which is
sheep barbecue.
A very, very nice experience.
Oh, good.
Yeah. If I lived here, I would make really good friends with him, and I'd be like, hey, do your horses need to get ridden today? I will help you. I will volunteer.
Generous. That's very generous of you.
That's who I am. You guys may be wondering, okay, look, how did we get to like all these wineries? How did we get from here to there? We actually reached out on one of the expat Facebook groups, and somebody recommended a driver. We've used them anytime that we've gone out to like the wineries to explore. So one of the places that our driver took us to was La Peña de Bernal. And it is actually the third largest monolith in the world.
Wow.
And it is such a beautiful sight to see. Mm-hmm. When we visited San Juanito, the winery that we talked about, in the background you could see it, but it was far away, right?
So it's about how far from Tequisquiapan?
Like 35, 40 minutes.
Not too bad. It's definitely worth it.
It's not bad. And they have a very beautiful area like downtown, a nice church, just beautiful like little restaurants, shops. Really a neat place to go.
Now, one thing you have to keep in mind about that town is it's a lot like Tequisquiapan. So it gets very busy on the weekends, but in the middle of the week, it's not. So that's a great time for you folks that don't have to only travel on the weekends to actually experience it. I know some folks have a question like, well, okay, what does it cost to have a private driver? And of course, everybody's going to charge different things, but we found it to be really reasonable.
Yeah.
So let's say for
almost 5 hours, about 800 pesos, which is about $40.
That's not bad. Let's talk about where we stay in Tequisquiapan. And this is the second time we've chosen this hotel. It is the hotel
Matian Hotel Boutique.
It's got a really cool boutique vibe, not just because boutique's in the name. It has 13 rooms.
Yeah.
So it's relatively small. And during the week,
we're the only ones here.
We're the only people in the hotel.
Well, once in a while you'll have another guest.
Yeah, once in a while we'll see somebody show up for a night or so, wave at them. Weekend came, every room's full. Again, Monday comes, well, Sunday night, everybody's gone. One of the things is I get up really early and Linda does not get up really early. And the room we had actually had a door and like a separate little living area that I would work in until about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then I would come down to this room.
La Cava.
Where I would have my coffee in the morning, film videos, return emails to people, and basically get all my work done.
So we could go have fun.
And then she would wake up and we could have some breakfast and go enjoy the day.
The one thing about this hotel, to me, is like it's like an old house. Mm-hmm. So it's just beautiful. It has beautiful courtyards, a beautiful heated pool. We haven't tried it out. A fire, if you want a fire every night. They have a little like outdoor fireplace, chimney that they'll set up the fire for you.
They have a restaurant and a bar here. You can get bar service 24 hours a day if you have.
And a little spa. So they said if you give them an hour's notice, you
can get that set up. And just super, super attentive. You'll find a link to the hotel, everything, and actually a link to everything we're talking about in the description portion of the video.
That's a lot of links.
It's a lot of links. Well, I think that's about it. That's our trip to Tequisquiapan. I know this video ran long, but we debated whether to break it up over multiple videos or just shove it all together. So we just shoved it all together. Anything you'd like to add before we head out?
No. I just want to get some wine and cheese.
Yeah, we're going to go get some more wine and cheese.
Or maybe beef.
Oh, maybe beef. Okay, now I'm starving. All right. Until next time.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.